In today's tutorial we are going to do a quick demonstration on the installation of the Covert C411 device. The Covert C411 comes packaged with the basic 4-pin GNSS LTE device, a wire loom, a relay and a relay harness. It also comes with a small card bearing a QR code, which when scanned, leads to the user manual for the device. For the installation, the tools needed are electrical tape, tie straps, adhesive, cutting pliers, a test light, and screwdrivers. To start the installation process, you will first need to locate the vehicle's main fuse box and the necessary wires to make the connections. For this installation, we have a 2015 Mitsubishi Lancer and the main fuse box is located behind the glove box. Let's start by removing the glove box. Once done, we will see the vehicle's main fuse box where the main input power is located. The connecting wires are run under the kick panel, so we will also remove these panels to gain access to those wires. Next, we will test for the necessary voltages that we need to perform the installation. The required wires are the ground, constant, which is always B+, and ignition. Now, we're going to start by using our test light. Here it has a ground clip, and the best ground in any vehicle is chassis ground. A chassis ground is any metal connected to the chassis framework of the vehicle. So we will connect the ground clip here and test the main wires. If the test light lights up, that means there is power coming from that wire. So always remember, when doing your power checks, the best ground to use is a chassis ground, which is a part of the vehicle metal framework. Since we have found a positive ground and constant B+, we can now search next for our ignition wire. Basically what we'll do is test with the ignition off first and then switch the key on. We will test the first socket, and as you can see, there is no power here, but the car is off. Switching the vehicle on, there is still no power, so we will test the next socket. Testing with vehicle off, and now on, and we have found power here. So we have full ignition in the socket with the red wire, and this red wire comes all the way down to the kick panel. We will track the red wire to the kick panel, and now we locate a spot where we can make our connection. Once found, we will test again to ensure that we have ignition here. We do this by connecting the probe and switching the car on and off. So we will insert the probe with the car off, and with the car off there is no light, then switching the car on, we see the probe light up, making this a good place to attach our ignition. With this model vehicle, the ignition wire is also connected to the fuel pump, so we will be making our shutdown connection here as well. So here we have our relay and our relay harness. These will be placed together as shown. On this particular harness, there are 4 wires. Power in, power out, ignition or coil B+ in, and there is trigger, which is negative trigger. Next we have a brand new wire loom for the device. The black wire with the strap is our ground wire. This will be connected to the ground circuit or to the chassis as recommended. The red wire is the constant voltage of B+. The orange wire is our ignition wire or accessory, and lastly the yellow wire is the trigger wire, which is a negative trigger. When activated, will be connected to our trigger wire on the relay harness. So we'll be connecting our red B+ wire to the red and black B+ wire that we have located in the fuse box. As stated, we are using this wire because when tested with ignition off or on, it always has power coming to it. For the black wire, which is the ground wire, we'll be utilizing the ground strap that is on it by removing this 10 bolt, placing it on it, and then fastening it. This will ensure that the device has a solid ground connection. Now we have our orange wire, which is ignition, which will connect to this red wire that we found earlier. This will ensure that the device will get the ignition signal whenever the key is switched on and off. Here we have gone ahead and made some connections. The orange wire, which is the ignition wire for the device, is tied in with the input or power and wire and coil or ignition B+ wire for the release that will trigger shutdown, because this is where the current is coming from for the ignition. I have connected the out from the relay harness to the end of the red wire and taped it where it's going out to the pump. I've also connected the trigger wire from the device to the yellow wire on the relay harness. I have connected my constant and also my ground wire, which is here. Now we'll be adding the relay by simply inserting it in the socket, and it can only fit one way. Next, we will set up our device and plug it in. So here we have our device, and first we need to open it up. Here's the battery. And here's where the SIM card slot is located for you to place the SIM card. Here is also the on-off switch. You want to make sure that the device is switched on, and you should see the device light up. Once on, we now return it back to the case, and you should still see the lights flashing through the casing. Now it's time to plug it in, and fasten it with some electrical tape. Best practice is to see the device hidden so not easily found, and for this installation I have routed my wires up so that I can place the device on this bar here. So here we have the device. I'm going to place it behind this wire loom where it blends in, and I'm going to secure that with a tie strap or electrical tape. This completes the installation, and thanks for watching.